Good morning. Glad you guys have joined me for Resurrection Eggs this morning. We are on egg number 5. I had to do a quick count there to see. Today is beautiful. It is definitely my high for the day. I actually have my window open and the sun is coming in. There's a small breeze. It is great. My low, as always, is concern for those who have COVID-19, who are battling that, for all of the healthcare workers and the families who are surrounding these individuals, or I guess the families who are unable to surround them and would like to. That is always probably my low right now. So should we get started? Our reading this time, I'm actually going to do, normally I just pick the reading that is out of the Resurrection Eggs book, but I'm actually going to change it a little bit. We're going to do Matthew chapter 26, verse 69 through, we're going to do a longer one, through to the end, through 75. So, Matthew chapter 26, verses 69 through 75. And we are doing this out of the International Children's Version because it's a little bit more inclusive and a little more kid-friendly. At that time, Peter was sitting in the courtyard. A servant girl came to him and said, "You were with Jesus, that man from Galilee." But Peter said he was never with Jesus. He said this to all the people there. Peter said, "I don't know what you're talking about." Then he left the courtyard. At the gate, another girl saw him. She said to the people there, "This man was with Jesus of Nazareth." Again, Peter said that he was never with Jesus. Peter said, "I swear I do not know this man Jesus." A short time later, some people standing there went to Peter. They said, "We know you are one of those men who followed Jesus. We know this because of the way you talk." Then Peter began to curse. He said, "May a curse fall on me if I'm not telling the truth. I don't know this man." After Peter said this, a rooster crowed. Then he remembered what Jesus had told him. "Before the rooster crows, you will say 3 times that you don't know me." Then Peter went outside and cried painfully. So this Bible verse is about Peter and about different people who came and asked Peter if he knew Jesus, and Peter denying Jesus 3 times, and then a rooster crowed. So what do you think is in our 5th egg? Do you think it's Peter, the people, Jesus? What do you think? Well, it looks to me like it's a rooster. So he did deny Jesus 3 times before the rooster crowed, and the roosters crow in the morning. So this was at night, and it was late, and Jesus had been captured in the garden, just like he was set up. So let's go through our story a little bit. So the beginning of the story, Jesus rides in on a donkey with palm leaves thrown on the ground, just like royalty. And this made people upset and angry. And Judas Iscariot went to the chief priests, some of the upset and angry people, and said, "What will you give me if I set him up?" And they gave him 30 pieces of silver. Then at the Passover meal, Jesus told them, "Eat this bread and drink this wine and remember me." Essentially saying, remember my death as the lamb that dies for your freedom. That sacrifice that frees you. And after the Passover meal, they went to the Garden of Gethsemane where Jesus prayed. Now, the part of the story that we haven't covered completely is that in the Garden of Gethsemane, soldiers came to arrest Jesus. And Judas let them know who Jesus was by giving Jesus a kiss on the cheek. And because of that, the soldiers then came and arrested Jesus. So while Jesus was arrested And this was overnight, and it was dark, and it was cold, and they were scared because so many people were upset with Jesus. So the disciples were very frightened. And Peter, who at one point had said, I will never, never, ever forsake you. I will never, ever say I don't know you. I will always stand behind you. Jesus said, you're going to deny me 3 times before the rooster crows, meaning you're going to abandon me, say you don't know me before morning comes. And Peter did just that while Jesus was arrested and being questioned. It was a scary time for the disciples, and probably a scary time for Jesus too, because he was part human and he felt those human emotions. So also, if you are making your own rooster, you can do it out of clay, Play-Doh, or a picture. Keeping in mind the rooster actually shows that morning has come. You could also do a sunshine. You could do something else that reminds you of morning. So that's what you could do for your egg. So let's talk about this a little bit. The coolest part about this story is that Peter, even though he made a really big mistake, still stayed as one of Jesus's biggest followers and a main disciple and a main part of the church that we are now part of. So even if we make mistakes, it's okay. We're forgiven. It's taken care of. Jesus died for our sins, and everything was forgiven. So take heart. If you've made mistakes or haven't always been really Christian or the perfect Christian, it's okay. Peter wasn't either. And he was still forgiven, and we still built an entire church around a whole bunch of the things that he did and said. So let's end with prayer and blessings. So my prayer for you is that you can feel forgiven for any mistakes you have made. And also I have prayers for those who are ill, for those who are battling, for families who have those who are ill. A lot of prayers for the healthcare workers. I pray that there are enough supplies and that the healthcare workers stay safe as well. Blessings to you. Moms, bless your kids. Dads, bless your kids. Kids, bless your parents. Bless your grandparents. Bless whoever you're sheltering in place with, actually. Doesn't really matter who it is. And I will see you tomorrow for our next resurrection egg. We're at egg number 6, halfway through.